Good morning, everybody. I think I called this one fascia abuse. I'm going to start it by telling a story that all women should hear. To understand, like, you know when you don't have, like, you know when a pair of shoes you're wearing just isn't the right fit. It's not, it doesn't fit correctly, like it's too tight, it's awkward. Or like, you know how like the dining room table that you buy, like you know when it's the right table for your lounge, for your dining room? Or the kettle and toaster combo that you've searched for, and then when that's just, and you can't deal, like it's just not right. Right, that's nothing at all like what I'm saying to do with what I'm about to talk about. This is like, if you were tied to the back of a ute and dragged, led through the town. You know what I mean? If you were like lassoed to a fucking whipping, like those types of things. If you were forced to sleep on a bed of fucking cobblestone, that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Now, strangely, and I can't believe that this is the same word. That's a trend, like that's a bit of a theme of what I like to talk about, is words that have some type of connection that are uncomfortably interacting with each other, okay? And today those words are going to be fascia, okay, and fascism. Now, I would say the majority of women do not know what fascia is, but unfortunately, a lot of young women do know what fascism is, and they won't shut up. And basically, what I'm going to declare is that all women are presently, 90% of you, are fascists to do with fascia, okay? It's hiding in this delicate balance between these two things. And basically, this is because all of the media, the combined thousands, millions of content, pictures, videos, everything like that, depicting women, is depicting a human being in optimal form, right? Optimal and natural form.
Nature's a take it like a taker. Baby, I'm a giver. Ain't no need to hurry. Baby, I deliver. Ain't no country boy killer. I get the job done. I get the job done.
Pull the shirt off. My girlfriend's ex-husband, because I had to do this shot there like that as a roaming camera just in front of the West Australian there, Channel 7, just to go like that. They told me to do this. Hopefully that's enough. Rick, mate, you haven't aged a day. I don't know how you do it. I'd love to know your secret. Well, I didn't have many shirts to wear, so I had to borrow a shirt.
Of content, pictures, videos, everything like that. Depicting women is depicting a human being in optimal form, right? Optimal and natural form. Their posture, their movement, their balance, their gait, their everything. Almost everything that we see women doing, they are presenting this optimal shape. On the opposite side, men are almost never displayed in that shape. They are utilitized. They are directed to which particular shape is going to be industrially sustainable for their career. You couldn't imagine a larger accusation of fascism than that. And that existed 100 years ago. If I was speaking about this 100 fucking years ago, that would be true. When I'm speaking about it now, it is so ultimately true. It is so absolutely true. It is so offensively and criminally negligently true that it's probably going to fuck a lot of things up. Because this is a systemic abuse case. And there is no denying it. You cannot deny it.
My dad named me Shanks and everyone called me Shanks because I have long, skinny legs. Shank. I've never stabbed anyone. I've never condoned stabbing. I made a video yesterday saying how you should shave with a razor blade so that you don't stab people. And the other thing you should be able to do is you should be able to do this in an environment where people can see it. So you can warn people of your viciously shit stepdad, which is what I've been doing. I have not stabbed him. The fact that I've alluded to it is showing how strongly my feelings were about that issue. But I've used language. It's horrific that this child felt his only form of retribution or of escape from a dungeon that I'm guessing he was put in, a metaphorical dungeon, by this figure who has stepped into his life against his will, was to kill him. And that's more probably a reflection of the lifestyle that this figure brought in. There's a lot going on. And if this individual is wheeled out as some type of pariah for the Crucifoli government in order to appease their adult time for adult crime, then you'd better sure as hell get to the fucking bottom of every issue in the story and not gloss over it, not turn it into a symptom of young male violence, because that's not what it is. It's the George Floyd of the single quiet, does as his fucking told Australian father. I'm guessing. And no matter which way you want to spin it, you want to say that the biological father extremised him, or you want to say that he was damaged by social media exposure to Andrew Tate. Do not forget that this is a confrontation between a 16-year-old and an adult that ended in death. This situation's root behind this is living in every single suburban house around the country. Unless we all just start chopping our bread and our steak with spoons. So let's see if the media, the Australian media, actually gets to the core problem here. Actually dives in deeper than just the periphery. It actually tries to appease something other than just the suburban housewives' desire for total control. maybe we can delve into the more complicated issues going on with all spousal arrangements and how, in extreme cases, they're going to lead to horrific acts like this.
Criminally negligently true that it's probably gonna fuck a lot of things up, because this is a systemic abuse case, and there is no denying it. You cannot deny it. It is absolutely scientifically true. And what you are creating is a paradigm where the only way a man can actually experiment with fucking optimal body movement, shape, presentation is to be a girl. That's what you've done as mothers, as grandmothers, as aunties, as teachers, as sportsmen, as sportswomen, as actresses, as editors, as fucking, the list goes on. In your barging into our fucking systems and forcing us to worship the female fucking image, you have completely case. And there is no denying it. There is not, you cannot deny it. It is absolutely scientifically true. And what you are creating is a paradigm where the only way a man can actually experiment with fucking optimal body movement, shape, presentation is to be a girl. That's what you've done as mothers, as grandmothers, as aunties, as teachers, as sportsmen, as sportswomen, as actresses, as editors, as fucking, the list goes on. In your barging into our fucking systems and forcing us to worship the female fucking image, you have completely fucked an entire fucking generation. You have fucked them, and you have literally, like, because this didn't exist. It was men. See, the difference in the pre-media age, right, which was important. So men would be driven towards industrial sections, other men. And these men had been free from this indoctrination of this women-obsessed worship, media worship. So they developed slowly and steadily to do their job, right, in their form, and they found it, right? And it's very dependent because it's lots of different movements. So if you became a bricklayer and you were trained by a bricklayer that was from the pre-media, then you would develop the movement pattern of a bricklayer, and this would be actually functional because you weren't like subconsciously battling a landscape that literally only presented women. Right, the same thing happened in reverse. So, like, women did have to imitate men to enter our system, but they were imitating men who had, like, stably adopted a form and a movement protocol, and then they were also, it was like just a costume. So the movement. And it's actually like, even when I see, it's so funny because it's like what I land upon is women imitating men is my proper body shape, and that's not equivalent to men being men. It's different, and it's like this. It's just and it's like it's completely like you know we have a frame that's acceptable. It's like if you had children and you were a strange person and you just exposed them to, like, I don't know, like horrific things. And we even know it's like we've had children that we've rescued that were like raised by wolves and they walked on all fours. You know, there's no getting out of this. There's absolutely no getting out of this. This little fucking, like, this little trans LBGTQ, like, that's not going to cut it, you cunts. Yeah? You've got to give up some of the fucking pie because you fucked the entire fucking world up by building a benefit system, by just being rewarded for being at this thing that doesn't make sense because there are no women, you know, there are no beauty queen fucking supermodels building houses. There are no beauty queen supermodels, you know, fighting wars. That's not real. It's a shape that doesn't exist, and so then every man has. It's like it's basically it is exactly what previously what people would do, like what nations would do, what countries would do, what societies would do to enslave other groups. But this is just gender. It's just gender, and you're not even aware of it. Like when there were black people in cotton field, like we knew they were slaves. societies would do to enslave other groups. But this is just gender. It's just gender, and you're not even aware of it. Like when there were black people in cotton field, like we knew they were slaves, and even from there, it's like you might think, oh, that's terrible. It's like, yeah, no, we knew they were slaves, so there were lots of people concerned with them, not overly. That's the problem. This is even worse because you don't even know. You literally don't even know. And this is never easy. Like, this is a global enslavement of men. And what's worse is it's like you're enslaving them and then actively priming them to be disabled slaves, which then you treat as part of your socialist fucking monstrosity. And all of it is cured by the thing. And this is the thing. So it's like, either way, whether you're celebrating, and this is the largest, again, I'm going to say another thing. So we've got fascia and fascism, right? And fascia is, if you don't know what fascia is, basically, if you imagine a wetsuit or a jumpsuit that's too small, that would be a fascia like misalignment, okay? So it's like, we have our skin, and then we have fascia, and then we have our muscles. And it literally dictates the shape, right? And there are functional, like, it's like a tailor making a suit. If you have a really good tailor, he'll make a suit that makes you literally, and this is why we have suits. Okay, and so it's like, and most people don't wear suits now. They wear they wear clothes that literally destroy these postural movement things. And we don't see anyone doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I guess there's other things. It's like being naked, right? If you're celebrated in that will allow you to present the proper form. Men aren't allowed to do that. And it's like these are. I mean, men are allowed to do it, but it's like they're not conditioned to do it, whereas women are, and then men are just conditioned to basically be slaves to women doing that. It's the ultimate in like humiliation, mocking, like protocol, except I'm pretty sure that it's not designed. It's like an accidental global fucking financial race. It's like a fashion thing. It's like a marketing thing because women just sell more shit. Like, you can look at Instagram and like see, but it's like we're hitting peak saturation of the female form, right? But we can't undo, and this isn't just me, this is like the 4 generations of men that have been exposed to this. We can't undo that programming. And it's going to get weird, right? Because basically we have a bunch of what are they called? Socialist, like, employees doing procedures that make it worse and do nothing. They're literally cashing in on procedures that would be done by just being like, oh no, you're just move like a girl. Just move like a girl for a bit. And even that sounds crazy. It's like, and then we have like targeted selective groups trying to groom specific archetypes of this for their own sexual gratification because it's a loophole, because no one cares about boys. It's fucking insane. You're literally running a feminist fucking like chicken farm where you're mincing the male chicks. And part of me wants to, like, literally part of me wants to create a fucking empire somewhere, purchase a piece of land, and just remove all of the productive men, and just watch you deteriorate into fucking cannibalism. You know, we'll come back every 10 years, you know, until it's like leaving. It's like it'll be literally like dying in a house filled with cats. You're just gonna start eating. You'll be like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm not allowed to eat children now? Oh, sis, huh? What's this? Like, that's where you're gonna go. That's the fucking trajectory you're on. You don't know how to do any of the things. You know, and these things like, oh, it's our turn to have women's AFL. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? You know, you basically, all the things you need in your society, you have basically made them impossible to do without like being a slave. You've built an unsustainable slave economy, and you won't fess up to it. And part of it's because you're benefiting from a undeclared and I think unrecognized like slave indoctrination system that wasn't selective. Yeah, and it doesn't work properly because it just was broadcast around the world, you know. And obviously there's like Australia, we have a more dynamic connection to like our previous class system and you know, hierarchical social structures that didn't align with England or with America. So we're different. So you just broadcast us with fucking Agent Orange in the form of this media, and now you have and it's like it's undeniable. It is exactly that. It is just female fascism for no particular reason, and there aren't enough men to provide this delusion that you've all been sold. There aren't enough groveling fucking slaves, but you're trying to make them. You know, and basically this is the thing. You can be a cucked out fucking man slave, or you can be a little fucking tranny that we can mock. Or you can be the couple of tough guys who can sit around the edge. That's insanity. That is fucking insanity. Meanwhile, all of you groveling little fucking whores sitting on your fucking cushions are just, you're literally just destroying the world. And it's the most simple things. It's like, what will happen? Because basically what it feels like to me, it's like I'm walking backwards out of the room filled with my family and society of feminist fucking monstrosities. I take a left foot back on a girl leg, I take a right foot back on a guy leg, and then I find, it's like, the more I go into the feminine, the more strong I feel as a man, and then I'm like, holy shit, this is undeniable. You know, I was forced to present a fucking shape that doesn't fucking exist. It's not fucking real. And unlike I guess like a model or a fucking actor or something like that, I also had to go and do all of my work, all of my social interactions, all of my fucking fathering, all of those things through this fucking gauntlet of bullshit, while all the women just sit there being like, what's your problem? What's the fucking problem? He's so aggressive. Like, this isn't aggression. Even this is feminine aggression. Masculine aggression isn't allowed. So it's like, still, I'm appeasing so many things and it doesn't fucking exist. And this is why you're continuously pushing this shit around. You know, even the fact that it's like no one had ever fucking heard, like, trans. The concept of trans. That's based on transvestite. That's the only word that I'd ever fucking heard for the majority of my life. Transsexual or transvestite. which they don't like, right? So you represented them with a letter that they don't like. You also represented them with a letter that represents the fucking crucifix. It's pretty fucking clear what you do. It's like the fucking hangman, you know what I mean? Look what we've got there. We've got a little fucking person and we've got a T. Now what happens if we put the person in front of the fucking T? Oh shit. Oh shit. You've made a fucking crucifix class that you're literally fucking waving around. See, the words that I'd heard of like, and this is like from derogatory teenage land, but it's like, they were like she-male or fucking ladyboy or fucking or chick with a dick. That's the only way we'd ever fucking heard of it. They're all derogatory as well, don't get me wrong, but they're not representing the fucking crucifix of Rome. You know, and it's like, don't take my word for it. Go and look it up. What does T represent? It's kind of ironic as well, because it's like T, testosterone. And this is the problem, it's like, it has nothing to do with testosterone. Nothing. It is a fucking shape. It is a functional shape. I have spent my life, like prior to work, but my young life, like I was an athlete in like 4 different areas. I know what's involved. I know what is a functional body and doing these things. Every step I go into this, I cannot believe what was fucking stolen from me by this social peer pressure bullshit of not acting, not moving, or not doing girly things. As a guy. As a fucking guy. Because it's disabled me. Because it's like, this is like, it's like, go and do your activity, and then it's the minute you get off the fucking field, you then present this other fucking thing and get ready to be a slave. That's what. And then meanwhile, the girls are doing cartwheels and fucking, they're like jumping. Like when I went rock climbing a year ago, and with my son, and I was doing this thing, and there was a birthday party of like young girls that were like his age. They were moving like fucking like Superman. And then I watch him, and he has to present this fucking like boy fucking archetype for no reason. Literally no fucking reason. Just to keep this fucking binary bullshit going for women. It's got nothing to do with men. The men are enforcing this on the demands of the women so that the women can remain on their fucking pedestals of proper movement. And then it's like, what causes the aggravation? Well, that conflict in your mind. And then it's made even worse by representing, it's like, if you start actually moving towards resolving that conflict, you're then brought a giant fucking rainbow flag and being like, we're celebrating your fucking transness. Oh my God, you're so fruity. In fact, like, fuck off. It's not that. It's that they want to move correctly. They want to move correctly. And this is like the way that you should look at this. And this isn't any shade on drag queens, because they're athletes. They're male fucking athletes. And they've been forced to run through. They have to present this ultra evolved fucking unicorn like presentation to escape all of the bullshit that this society threw at them. They're fucking superheroes. But it doesn't matter whether they're in wigs and shit or whether they're fucking in things. And that is cultural. And basically what it does is it's taken, we have an entire diverse history of the world, okay? And we have, like, that you go really far back, it gets quite barbaric and ruthless and gruesome and shit like that. And basically what this culture is doing, what this feminist cult is doing, is it is deleting the last 1,000 years of history in which men developed these, and it's not even more feminine, because these were the hyper masculine men. If you like think of like Robin Hood with fucking Errol Flynn having sword fights on pirate ships and shit like that. That this is the whole thing. You've deleted our entire fucking period of ultra masculine like free movement and like this is like ballet. Like ballet isn't a girl's thing. It's a fucking ridiculously difficult fucking thing to do. And you've replaced it with things like AFL, which is basically ballet with a ball. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what's allowed. You're allowed to play ballet with the ball, but then as soon as you get off the field, you got to walk like a man, talk like a man. It's fucking retarded. It is, and then you fix it by going, oh no, we're going to celebrate women's AFL because they've not been allowed. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Our entire culture is saturated with the top level women's physical movement and presentation and behavior. And then men are stuck in little fucking boxes. You're a fucking... And it's like, the amount of times I've gone to someone's fucking house and the only thing they will talk to me about is my fucking job. And I'm like, suck my fucking dick, you stupid cunts. You know, and it's like the whole time, it's like, this is like 20 years of fucking observing this. And now I'm done with it. Because this is it. You've literally made a fucking structure of fucking absolute fucking disgrace. All made by selfish ignorance. The most dangerous thing on the fucking earth. You know, I sat there this morning and watched Fran Lebowitz, some little fucking generic fucking boomer fucking throwback. You've dragged here from New York to discuss how she can't smoke cigarettes on a plane and how Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. I live in New York. I'm Fran Lebowitz. I worked with fucking, what's his name? In the factory. Andy Warhol. The person that destroyed art. The person that stuck a fucking wall and covered people with aluminium foil. And this is this. This is inbred culture. Inbred, self-destructive, fucking, you know, suicide fucking culture of New York City. And for some reason it's held as this thing. It's like, we'd better drag her here. We're being culturally relevant. No, you're not. You're being culturally fucking irrelevant. You're reviving a fucking snapshot from a Polaroid camera that should be fucking, you know, in someone's fucking shoebox under their great-grandmother's bed by now. And you're denying anything that came before it and fucking denying anything that came after it. You are stagnated in one fucking little moment in fucking time that wasn't even that interesting and had so much manipulation on it by all of these intelligence agencies that it's not even funny. And it's now just like, it's just all there. There are no fucking answers. You've built a culture that doesn't do anything so that women cannot do anything. You know, right? The entitlement, the expectation that all of the little worker fucking ants are going to continue doing all the little worker ant fucking things. You know, despite the fact that they just keep getting these things thrown at them. And then the largest one is this violence. It's like, violence is not just hitting. Violence is anything. Violence is speak. And this is where you all are. You turn on any channel and you watch the current government speaking about anything. And that's what it is. You're basically on the edge of a fucking cliff. You know what I mean? Basically trying to say like you've just murdered thousands and thousands of people. You've just fucking absolutely destroyed our culture. You've fucking denuded the youth, and you've given them this environment that is impossible to navigate, even now for women, because obviously it was unsustainable. And then the only thing you have left, and this is basically the conversation that the argumental status I've been in with every single woman I've ever had an intimate relationship with. This is what you all do individually, and now you're all doing it collectively. Don't raise your voice at me. That's violence. Fuck off, it's violence. My environment is violent. It is systemically violent. 1,000 times worse than it should be. Because you have placed you have built the observable environment to subconsciously prime the undeserved worship of women. And the only way to fix it is to do what you're doing and say those women They're not women, they're people. They're fucking people. And now you have to deal with the thing. It's like, so you have to explain to an entire fucking generation that you have been presenting functional women and dysfunctional men. And that's at the highest level. So all women can fall into that functional shape. It doesn't matter where they are, because it's allowed. You even like, and this is the thing, you get a woman on a work site who's kind of prancing and fucking like shaking her hips and carrying a ladder. You know, we as men, we view that as a sexual thing because you made us like that. Like, so it used to be like women individually presented themselves as a sexual, focal point for themselves, for their own interests. But when you're all collectively doing it, so you all benefit from these supermodels and from these porn stars collectively, because it primes men into doing that. And that is speaking from absolute truth. You know, you dim the lights a little bit. You can be with some woman, and it's like you can be with any of the women that you've ever witnessed. So you all get lifted up, the rising tide. But at the same time, you've absolutely gutted the fucking male. And this is what this Donald Trump thing is. He is for his age, he is the most evolved, most sensitive new age guy that he could possibly be. And he gets fucking drowned like a fucking stray kitten by some fucking random New York Jew, fucking whoever the fuck she is, that wasn't even relevant back then. You're doing what you did to fucking everyone else. What you'd claim was done to witches and done all this fucking thing. You need to sacrifice Donald Trump. How the fuck could he be any fucking different than he is, any better, with still doing what he's doing? You know, I think it's time for the collective men of the entire fucking world, you know what I mean, to take Donald Trump on our shoulders and just be like, fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. You know what? And it's like, what the fuck are you envisaging? Because it's like, you've drank your own Kool-Aid. You've listened to your own marketing, your own PR. You are so supported and so flooded with pro women, you know, and this technical bias where all women are floating on a fucking ocean of elevation, undeserved, because that's, I'm saying, is the display of what my culture did. But it didn't do it with these things. It did it individually. So if a woman walked in the room, we'd all stand up. You know, little things like this. We all did that to women. I'm saying I want to destroy that. I'm saying that etiquette of a woman walks in a room, or you open a door for a woman, or all of these things, that was localized worship of women. It wasn't collectivized worship of women. Because that is a fucking nightmare. And this is why are these issues, okay? Why are these issues at the top? So I'm in a discussion with the European Union, with the United States Defence Force, with the King of England, with our Governor General, our Prime Minister, with Vladimir Putin, with Russia, with all these things. Why are these basically systems of etiquette and manners being issued from the top when they obviously have culturally diverse examples in each fucking region? And in my region, it falls to politeness, you know, standing up when a woman enters the room, you know, perhaps like a nice compliment, you know, not being hostile in certain things. And in return, there's a type of submissive, joyful exuberance that each individual woman feels when they are supported locally in that environment. But you cannot dictate that to the world. And that is actually the differentiator between my culture, specifically my class-based culture of manners and etiquette. And that was what made us able to take over the world, was because we could control individually our culture to be polite and have manners. And just so you know, that is always restrictive to the individual men that are participating in that. Basically, in common 2026 language, it means they get less pussy by being collectively polite in a local environment towards a particular, but towards any woman. It doesn't matter whether it's the housemaid or the Queen of England, right? They are all respected to the same level, but that can only be controlled by local example and local systems of etiquette and manners and responsibility. That's it. You can't demand it. If you could have demanded it, we would have already fucking done it, because the level of manners and of etiquette and these things that we presented 100 to 500 years ago was far higher. So it doesn't work like that. There can only be an elite class, and that elite class should be the ultimate example of these things, of manners, of etiquette, of responsibility, of discretion, of humility, of there's a word like of restraint, decorum, all of those things. They were held by our class system. So basically what you're doing, you're trying to franchise and broadcast our class system, but through the lens of a pander to already experimented with society of female worship. And this is it was never female worship. It was systemic design. When the woman left, there might have been little, did you see her legs? Well, I would like to, like that. And that's where you've got you're like, no, worship us every minute of the fucking day. Never stop worshiping. That's what you're designing. That's what you built. How dare you speak of me when I leave the room? Yet that is what women do non-stop. Non-fucking stop. With everything. You're trying to homogenize women down to just you worship us or we'll fucking kill you and your children. And that's, or we'll fucking mock you and enslave you in fucking sticky fucking tar. So cover your entire family in it and you'll never get out. And then we'll drag your daughter off to be consumed by the masses of voyeuristic fucking simps to ultimately do it. And it's like, what would you like us to do in response to this? You know what I mean? Because Jesus, we crucified that cunt. And it's like, we need a fucking woman to crucify, I think. You know what I mean? We need the archetype of this ultimate women worship, feminist fucking, pagan fucking, demi fucking god fucking bullshit cult. So it's like, bring one forward. Why don't we have the women? We have the woman. Flawed fucking theological fucking design right here. Greek culture has Medusa. There's tons of women that are fucked. Ursula off The Little Mermaid. She's crucified. That's what we need. Where is this woman? You've built a control system that doesn't even do anything. It's like antimatter. It does nothing. It restricts everything. It's the ultimate display of just basically just a self-serving Ponzi scheme generation of women that have somehow gained our subconscious, gained our whatever, like rode the wave of this technological advancement and just sat there. And there's no way that any of you are going to come forward. And this is the odd one. But why would you? Because the system protects you. You don't see or feel the actual results, which is what was declared at the other classes of elites. But this is way different. It wasn't all men were elites. It wasn't all men were in the class. It never was that. Men organized themselves, and we made sure that we had good examples at the top. We can do that. I have no doubt in my mind that that is what we are building right now. Now, the problem is that this class, but what on earth are they going to bring to the room to explain their gender or their gender identity, their selective, ultra-pandered bias group? How are they going to defend these accusations? They cannot. You know what I mean? They're all going to collectively fall back to the little girl walking, will stand up. Now, I didn't design this. I didn't build women and men. I just understand it. You know, there might be the odd one that might be aggressively, well, this, but she's never going to be elevated by all of you at the same time. Because there is no, powerful, aggressive, female dominant archetype that you will all agree upon. But men, we do have that. We've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years presenting it. And the way that we work within monarchy is that monarchy will present a woman. And we provide to the female monarch, to the queen, we provide her with the respect that we provide every other woman with. And that is how that works. That is what balances. And this is why this is the Queen's representation right now. But she's dead because she was forced to run a gauntlet between our oversight, but then respectful diligence, and the female's occasional diligence and respect, but also the female savaging of every aspect of her life. Of collective and individual attacks, systemic, redesign, all these things that women did to basically push the queen, because she becomes the target. So this has already all happened. All of the queen's peers and all of the queen's, the younger generation, which are the boomers, all of them, you all collectively built a system to oppose the queen's stable, standing example. And that is what is being brought into criticism right now, en masse. These are the charges that you are all going to be landed with, because we all hear the accusations towards her and her sons and her family and Andrew and Epstein, all this shit, and it's like, well, let's group you up. What are the English representatives in Australia? What have they collectively condoned our environment turn into? The Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, the Aboriginals. Aboriginals are well above. They're well on top. They won, in case you didn't know, because they weather the same storm of racial abuse, of all these things. The Aboriginal collective women of this country, they collectively hold a power that is far larger than Queen Elizabeth. And yet daily they are fucking beaten and raped and dragged through the mud and attacked and fucking ignored and all these things. But what have all of you done? And that is the most important thing. And these are hierarchies. We don't represent a patriarchal hierarchy when we just lost a queen that was here for so long. We are coming after the matriarch of every family, and you will be put on trial, and you will be comparatively asked to present your contribution to overall society in comparison to our monarch. You know, if there's a better suitor out there, then perhaps we can redesign and go back and establish you as the monarch. But I doubt that that's going to happen, because she covered a lot of ground. She held a lot of fucking chaos back on your behalf. And this is the only thing that can be accepted. It's like, this is the moment. We have our beautiful queen's entire life work in our archives. You know, and we're just waiting. Who is the female representative of Australia that is going to step up and present their argument, present their actions and their influence and their family and their social example, and put it on the scale next to our late queen. You know, and we'll be patiently waiting. But until that happens, all of these things need to be brought into question. Like, she was our sitting monarch for this amount of time. She had one job to do. She held a stable archetype of society, of family, of leadership, of soft power, of all these things. Right? And she did it. Our society has another reality. And this comes basically from the Magna Carta, from the establishment of these parliaments to act on behalf. And so it is now every parliament's job within the Commonwealth to argue in a court their system and why it does not resemble the Queen's example. And on what authority did they build this hell? On whose authority did they devolve our society so far beyond the example, the hard fought for, the hard disciplined dedication of our late monarch? On whose authority? And they will defer to the people. And because it was a female, because it was a queen, well, then we would like a representative, matriarchal representative from every established family in this country to represent themselves now on what caused all of this. Basically, I would say a 20-page statement of their commitment towards this country, their family, and to society as a whole. And 20 pages is nothing compared to what our late Queen provided for all of us. If this is denied, if this is said, no, there's no constitutional right to do this, well, then we will tear the place to shreds and we will fix it ourselves. If you can't present this your argument individually, then why should we listen to your vote collectively when it is basically exposed in this moment to be seen as ultra self-serving and has no regard for our traditions, for our customs, and for stability or for productivity or anything. It is a collective agreement to self-serve, the complete opposite of our late Queen. I don't think it's much to ask. I think it's basically what should be understood as the appropriate measure. Our parliamentary system was designed by men. It was built by men that fought against tyrannical kings to do these things. This is a very different thing. We have now a collective tyrannical feminist movement that has slipped through the cracks and been allowed to do things that men, neither kings or parliamentarians, would have ever dreamed of. And now we want to see whether they will step up and represent themselves, whether they can collect, and then we can have representatives to prepare and analyse these declarations and bring them into Parliament, both in the UK, here, Canada, New Zealand, everywhere else, and basically seek to stand them as the collective opposition, feminine opposition to our late monarch, and bring that in to be discussed through the halls of Parliament publicly and openly until we get to the bottom of what caused all of this mess. The patriarchal masculine system of our Westminster system is absolutely built on respect and the de-escalation of physical violence. And this is not being reflected on the female side at all. And we will not allow this female cohort to bring false representatives into our parliament to continue their evil work that is basically, if they were men, would be declared as sabotage, treason, blasphemy, heresy, whatever it is. But the Queen was stuck on a spike and not allowed because the collective movement was this feminist movement. How could the Queen ever go against the women? And that is the problem. And now we have a king. We have her son, an archetype that has been destroyed collectively by the unofficial matriarchal rule of all of these nations. The son is the sacrificial son, not in the Christian model, but in the self-serving model. You sacrifice your son to serve yourself. And that is blasphemy, because that brings into disrepute our historic story of Mary and Jesus. This is collective heresy. Somehow being rattled through the halls of our parliamentary system and not coming under constitutional scrutiny for some particular reason. Who knows why? Probably because it hasn't been appropriately identified. It hasn't been appropriately grouped together. There hasn't been, democratic policies or constitutional cries for legitimacy. All these things. It's like, this is it. I do believe that there is precedent to do with a masculine side, with a patriarchal role, because this is the only monarch, this is the only period of royal ascent that has ever fallen under this pressure. And so we do need to establish a precedent, something that we can all agree on, that does do the basic thing of compare what the monarch's example was with what the collective group of subjects enacted, and how there was such a divide. Is this just a fairy tale? We cannot actually be in an argument of republic or of dissolution of the crown in this environment, because it is false. You are presenting a false, Punch and Judy show with our most highest representative directly represented, on behalf of God himself. You are mocking our highest sovereign citizen in the entire Commonwealth, in the entire kingdom, by forcing him to be a fucking puppet, Punch and Judy. And could there be anything more London than that? So have no doubt, we are in civil war territory. It's just that the civil war is going to be done far differently than it was last time. We're not dealing with a king that's raising an army. We're dealing with a king that has been forced to be a Punch and Judy puppet in a London back alley while the prostitutes and fucking degenerates take over the entire fucking world. In direct opposition to his mother, the late mother, who has been unable societally to defend herself. But we're talking about women. Magna Carta was established under a king. Even the previous queens have been enacting their demands through a patriarchal class-based system. This was the first queen ever in our history that was forced to stand guard against the collective deterioration enforced by a feminist collective. It's really bad, and there needs to be a sufficient act that is brought in to actually deal with what happened, and not with hopes and dreams and rainbows and unicorns. And just quietly, because this is placed in the capable hands of the House of Lords and the House of Commons in the United Kingdom that represents Scotland, I will basically declare that the use of the rainbow and the unicorn to do this is basically the most disgraceful fucking thing I've ever seen. That is literally the Scottish emblem. That is our most sacred emblem, and it has been dragged into this PR and marketing scam in order to destroy our history of both Scotland and England, of Great Britain, of the United Kingdom. All of this to hold up the only accessible masculine presentation is a boy running around in a fucking dress. Which means what you do if we react to the same level, that means we shave every woman's head and we stick them in a pair of pants and make them wear a fake mustache. You think about that. There's no way in fucking hell we'd ever do that. You know, you might think, oh, the comparison is we're going to stick you all in a burqa. No, we're English. We're going to shave all of your heads, stick you in a little flat cap, make you all wear a fake mustache and wear pants and go down in a fucking coal mine. Or at least that's the symbolically held retaliatory example that we would never do, but now you know what it would be. So I think it's a pretty good example. And it's like this, you wanted equality, this is it. This is I don't know which symbol is the women. Is it the cross or is it the arrow? I don't know. But it's like, this is the Magna Carta, like we had Ghostbusters, the girl version. This is Magna Carta, girls, gone wild edition. Thank you.
Well, I didn't have many shirts to wear, so I had to borrow a shirt off my girlfriend's ex-husband because I had to do this shot there, like that. There's a roaming camera just in front of the West Australian there, channel 7. Just to go like that. They told me to do this. Hopefully that's enough. Rick, mate, you haven't made today. I don't know how you do it. I'd love to know your secret.
Black. I mean, it's a big dark green triangle that says the dark greens on it. Because of the billions of dollars spent on greenwashing, we need to split that term in two and we need to have a dark greens. And well, the Greens are saying they're going to stop the racetrack in the city. And I'm pretty on board with stopping that fucking thing. But I'm going to counter that by saying we are Western.
Just turn your Bibles to Psalm.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
Hey guys, it's Father David Michael, and if you want to read the Gospel according to Shrek, just turn your Bibles to Psalm.
Somebody once told me the world.
told apart and down seas and in view, told me not to bathe among the dew in the grass undone, for two only men would frighten be there from this. 7 twirling shadows sending, and on the saddle we fall shade with the vine. I sit and wonder why the forest dies. Sit myself beside someone to cry about it all. Someone to cry with about it all. Under loving, twisting, shifting sand. Come on, take my hand. For the first time, last time, stand the chorus of
whispers in a powder room. She cries on every tune, every tune, every tune. And the music don't feel like it did when I felt it with you. Nothing that I do.
Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy, dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last gun start, gotta tear the ground. Sally up.
I've always wanted to be a dad. And let me tell you, I love it.
Did you do another drawing of our family?
That's me, and Dylan, and Mommy. And over here, far away, is you.
I love how you drew my hair.
That's poop.
Well, it's well drawn.
Okay, I'm their stepdad. The way I see it, anyone can be a father. But not everyone has the patience or the devotion to be a...
Daddy! Brad, Daddy wants to talk to you.
Hello, Dusty.
Super to make your acquaintance. I'm not gonna give you my social security number. Cholesterol? 180. Credit score 758.
Very proud of that.
Yeah, I guess I could pick you up.
I mean, kids, at the end of the day, they know who's been around and who...
Holy...
No hay duda que ese hombre es mejor que tú en todo.
Well, you're kind to say that, thank you.
The king received word that his dominion was being ruled over by some curly-headed step-king with good credit.
Oh, no.
Sounds like your dad's spinning quite a yarn.
Oh, actually, it's getting late.
Aww.
Good night, my little magical cherubs.
Eskimo kisses. Who wants good night tickles?
Good night, back scratches. Oh,
Hey, who wants $20?
what?
Hey, kids. There's someone here now that I hope you guys can learn to love.
I thought you were talking about me.
Oh, but you're not a dog, Brad.
Why is he looking at me like that?
So what do we got going on over here, man?
It's a treehouse. We've only been at it for about 2 months.
Dad, Dad finished the treehouse for you!
Hey, B-Man!
I hope it's up to code.
Oh, no, watch out, B-Man!
It's a pony, Dusty!
Not bad. Take her out, see what she can do. Remember, 1 down, 4 up.
Everyone knows it's 1 down, 4 up.
Oh my god!
So I'll just be grateful nobody got hurt, okay?
I got hurt.
Brad, just stay still. I'll get you.
No, please just go and get a shirt on.
One lucky fan is gonna get a chance to shoot from half court.
This one's for Dylan and Megan and Sarah and Dylan. Nothing but net.
Some good ass weed. Check it out, dog. This game is a motherfucking trip, man. Word on the streets. Everybody always try to run up on me hollering about word on the streets. This nigga said this. Man, I don't give a fuck about what that nigga said, man. That's what's wrong with you niggas. You niggas are just like bitches. Whole ass niggas. Talk too motherfucking much. Speak. Stay to your own. Get your own. You know what I'm saying? Be independent, nigga. Bitch. Yeah. Bitch niggas. Bitch niggas. Bitch ass niggas. Bitch niggas. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Bitch niggas. And you too. Dog. I meet more bitch niggas than hoes. Look here, and I really don't know, but that's just how it go. Dog. So many niggas like to keep up shit. And just like a bitch, niggas be talking shit. Smiling in my face and then they blast me in the back. Niggas stay strapped from way back, cause payback make niggas wanna pop that shit. If you ain't ready for the game, niggas stop that shit. We rock that shit. My nigga Dre, drop that shit. No more talking, I'm walking and I'm popping the clip. Glock on the hip, set tripping, dipping and shit. If you act like a bitch, nigga, you get smacked like a bitch. Bitch niggas, bitch niggas.
These niggas don't know what the fuck is going on. Yo, dog, check it, kick back. Let me holler at these niggas for a minute. Straight off the streets of chaos and no pity. The aggravated, making these punk motherfuckers hate it. Compton is the city I'm from. Can't never leave the crib without a murder weapon. I can't live my life on broke no more. And most of these fools ain't shit but cutthroats. They smile in the nigga face, and for what? They got the game fucked up and want my thing fucked up. I done learned a lot, seen a whole lot. The top-notch nigga, I'm fiending for that spot. Now peep game on what 6 Deuce told me.
These niggas after your paper, Dr. D.R.E.
What?
And these punk ass hoes is looking for dough. You gotta watch your homeboys, cause a nigga never know. Oh, they'll be around, but when your paper get low, just like Master P said, there they go, bitch niggas. Uh-huh.
Bitch nigga, a bitch nigga, a bitch nigga, hella bitch nigga, you's a bitch nigga, a bitch nigga, a bitch nigga. A bitch nigga. I know your type, so much bitch in you. If it was slightly darker, lights was little dimmer, my dick be stuck up in your windpipe. You rather blow me than fight. I'm from the old school, like roam me wrong, homie. Yo, you owe me the right to slap you like the bitch that you are. Been wanting to cap you ever since you was mad dogging me with that bitch in your car. Fool, who do you think you are? Mr. Big Stuff, man, you shit on hit, get your shit bust. Plus, pistol whip, cover it up, use your bitch's blush. Mr. Powder Puff, yo, bark ain't loud enough, huh? I know chihuahuas, that's mo rah-rah, ha-ha. I have to laugh, Dre, I bet he take bubble baths. You don't want no trouble with the aftermath staff, trust me. Doggy dog, dicky doctor plus me. No use a buster slash hussy, soft as a hush puppy. Must we break you down to estrogen, most hated specimens of bitch nigga.
Attention all personnel.